DCU adds actress Kelly Macdonald to the Lantern series. Yeah, they've been adding people. You know, Kyle Chandler's Hal Jordan, Aaron Pierre's Jon Stewart, and Kelly Macdonald is Sheriff Carey. So the announcement of her joining the cast is interesting because you get a little bit more tidbit about what the show will be about and look like. I already knew it was going to be an Earthbound setting, which with about 2 space cops, and obviously this is because, hey, space shows are expensive, so and it's looking like, well, this won't take place in the big city or anything. This will take place in a small town. So Miss Macdonald is known for roles in Boardwalk Empire and No Country for Old Men. Great film. Macdonald will portray Sheriff Carey, a character officially described as a no-nonsense woman deeply devoted to her family and close-knit town. Her resilience, shaped by a complex past that's hardened her resolve, anchors her when the community's secrets begin to surface. Now, it's a small town. You would think, some like murder mystery in a small town would make for a okay show, a cop show and stuff like that, or say 2 detectives are dealing with, hey, like True Detective, yeah. But they're space cops, so the secret would involve some sort of alien thing. That Gunn's already said will also be connected to an overall story that the DCU will have to contend with down the road. So seemingly rather quiet and small and simple, it broadens into a much larger, maybe even galactic, dare I say, universe threat, that kind of thing. Yeah, that would be the deal. But of course, due to the mismanagement of Warner Brothers over the years, money is rather, sparse. So, but I mean, it's a tough sell, I would think, for space cops to be Earthbound. There's been a lot of sci-fi shows, Doctor Who and Star Trek, where they're just doing it in the parking lot of the studio. Stuff like that, or say, hey, you can go anywhere, but let's just stay here outside the 7-Eleven, and that's just, and an Earthbound story with characters like Batman or something like that could work easily. So it's the odd thing, but I understand there's some sort of rights issue about Batman live action shows, and damn it. So they'd have to utilize some other street level characters and that sort of thing, which, could work too. But, that's where you can go, where there's potential for shooting it cheaper. Whereas here, it's going to be this Earthbound Green Lantern show. So how much special effects would be required? They can use it sparingly and still deliver a really good series. Superman and Lois, in their final season, I think it's great, but they're able to couch it within their basic family drama storyline that plays out because they can't afford to have the spectacular superhero special effects, although they opened with a rather spectacular battle in outer space between Superman and Doomsday. But you got to keep it sparingly, and there has to be a plot narrative that's strong enough to hold your audience, and the same would have to be true here. So that's the best you can hope for. But this description of that she would be this sheriff that they interact with, I don't think it doesn't. He says she's devoted to her family. Does she have a husband? Will one of the two be a romantic interest for her? Perhaps Jon Stewart, because I suspect Hal Jordan, who really belongs with Carol Ferris, of course, but we're probably not going to get much of Hal Jordan's story beyond this, because I don't think he's long for existence. I think he will not survive this series. That's unfortunate, especially at the age they've already placed him, where he's just supposed to be this veteran lantern who's a mentor figure for the younger Jon Stewart, which is a formula that I always thought could work. Originally, the rumors were they were pitching this idea for a film and all that sort of stuff, and I think this is still the template they're going with for these two characters for a Green Lantern project, and now it's evolved into this Max series. So, and it's unfortunate that the outer space thing couldn't happen. We could still have a mystery of the guys being cops in space and that kind of thing, and that interplay would have worked rather nicely. But even then, it was rumored that Hal Jordan would not survive it or would disappear and that kind of thing, which is sad because of a lot of the Hal Jordan stories, you just won't see them depicted in the DCU, either on streaming or in the theater. But that being said, I don't want to see those stories grafted onto Jon Stewart. I'd rather Jon Stewart's stories be told. And there's a really good one, a very powerful one that came out of Cosmic Odyssey back in the 80s that I think is something they really should pursue. And if he comes across as kind of arrogant and he's the younger guy in this, that could be a good setup for him to be humbled by that story and become the more serious and stronger heroic character that he can grow out of that. That would be a strong arc for his character to be depicted in the DCU. So basically, small town USA has some sort of alien threat that no one knows what it is, and this small town sheriff is confronted with it, and then here comes space cops to help her with that. So all right, okay, it's gonna have 8 episodes, and it is one of the few things that were announced that I was intrigued by, especially since I've been following the rumors about this setup between the two lanterns. However, of late, this Earthbound thing was the first knock against it, but that can still work. The next big knock against it is Damon Lindelof and Tom King being involved in it. Chris Mundy of Ozark will be the showrunner, so hopefully he's the one really in charge. But those other two, that's a bad sign, in my opinion. But hopefully it works out, and we'll have to see that going forward. But Tom King is a big negative overall. They're going to do his Supergirl story and that sort of thing. But hopefully just stop listening to him about anything else. And even that. Rewrite it a little. And hopefully Superman makes it. If Superman fails, none of this matters. I mean, they're going forward with this show, so they'll dump it on Max. But if Superman fails, DCU is DOA.